There's some mushrooms.
You know a thing or two about mushrooms, don't you?
Well, I know a lot about a few mushrooms, the interesting ones. I'm not so good on all the others. So we're standing in a cedar plantation, and this is open to the public, and I'm sure a lot of people, well, I know a lot of people come here and they feel happy to be in nature and they talk about being in the forest. But to me, this is a monoculture. What was here before was mixed deciduous woodland, a very dynamic forest cover. And there's a question of framing here and of shifting baselines, actually, whereby people who don't know mixed deciduous woodland. Here's an example. Someone's walking their dog. Do you know anything about mixed deciduous woodland? Probably not. I'm not saying that this is beautiful. We're amongst trees, but it would be even more beautiful if it were mixed deciduous woodland and this was teeming with life and biodiversity. There's no understory. Just here, where a tree's fallen down, we're starting to see the growth of understory. But look around, it's dead. There's nothing here. Just one or two ferns coming up. And this is a problem, this shifting baseline. People don't know what it is that they've lost. So for example, I grew up locally, about 5 miles away, and every spring we would hear the cuckoo, this amazing harbinger of spring, the cuckoo arriving and singing, cuckoo, cuckoo. Well, you can't hear a cuckoo here now. You have to go up onto Dartmoor to hear a cuckoo in the spring. And of course, if you're like me and you've grown up hearing the cuckoo, I can feel it and I can miss it. But if you've grown up and you've never heard a cuckoo, the baseline has shifted and you don't know what you're missing. And so there is a question of framing here, but how you convey that to people, I don't know. I mean, it starts, of course, with people coming to a plantation and feeling some sense of nature connection, but it's really about education and showing people what it could be like.
And do you think grief is an important process here?
Oh, grief is just central to all of it. I don't think you can be if you're not feeling grief, then you're not engaging with the world as it is right now. The question really is how not to get so overwhelmed by your grief that you can no longer function. And I'm not sure I have the answer for that. Life is tenacious. Life is extraordinary. I'm sure at the end of all of this, there'll be a living planet. What it will look like and whether there'll be humans there, I don't know. But we were always going to die, and maybe the grief is also about our own mortality. Nature is sublimely beautiful, and nature is deeply tragic. It's a grim, miserable place. All this life is built on suffering and death. And I talked about cuckoos earlier. They're killers from the moment they hatch. So the world is a tragic place, but it's also sublimely beautiful, and that's never going to change. So I find hope in knowing that life is tenacious and that life was always finite. That's a little bit heavy, isn't it? We're being so optimistic.